there's so often a gap between what we say we're going to do and what we actually end up doing. In other words, between our plans and our end results. And in between is a thing called execution. Why so often don't we execute on our goals? Now, I don't know if you know this, but according to Harvard Business Review, as well as a number of other research organizations and think tanks, up to 80% of companies fail on strategy execution. So we make our plans, we don't execute on them. The exact same thing is true for individuals when it comes to executing on their own plans. Just think about your New Year's resolutions. Do you mostly achieve them? Or do you mostly not achieve them? According to some research that was done in the United States, the failure rate for New Year's resolutions is said to be 80%, and most people lose their resolve by the middle of February. I think I can agree when I look at my own New Year's resolutions and how I often lack to execute on them. So since the humans that do not execute on the New Year's resolutions are the same ones that have to execute on company strategy, it's not surprising that the two stacks are the same. From my personal experience in the corporate world and now with our clients, I have seen 4 key reasons for strategy failure. And they are lack of purpose, decision hesitance, unconvinced stakeholders, and poor measurement. So let me quickly explain what I mean by each of those. Firstly, when a company is driven by what they do and not by why they do it, they easily lose their way and they battle to execute on strategy because their people are not bound together by a singular goal. Secondly, when people fail to make decisions, especially the tough ones, how can they hope to achieve strategy? Yet people are often hesitant because they fear failure or they fear the unknown. And then thirdly, what do I mean by unconvinced stakeholders? Well, when your employees or your customers or your suppliers or your shareholders have lost confidence in the company or in your strategy, it's very hard to execute on it. If your customers don't believe in you, how are you going to make your sales numbers, as an example? And then lastly, if it is true that you get what you measure, then we shouldn't be surprised that strategy execution doesn't take place if we don't monitor and measure ourselves and our progress against it regularly. As they say, if you aim at nothing, you will hit it. Now, when it comes to us as individuals and our own failure to execute on our personal goals, the underlying causes is exactly the same. Have a look at those empty frames behind me. At the beginning of the year, I decided that I was going to fill them with family pics. And it's October, nothing has happened. So there you see lack of execution on my resolutions in action. So let's equate it to the same reasons that I mentioned for execution of failure in businesses. So coming to lack of purpose. So if you know your what when you set your New Year's resolutions or any other plan, but you don't know your why, you probably will fail and run out of steam. So if you, for instance, said, I'm going to get fit this year, and you haven't decided, but why do I want to do it? Do I want to do it because I want to look better and feel better? Do I want to do it because of health reasons? Do I want to do it so that I can cope better at work and better with stress? What are my reasons, or what is my key reason? Because that probably will spur you on if you know why you're doing what you're doing. Decision hesitance in your personal life is when you don't believe in yourself. So you've resolved that you're going to get a big job or this big client this year, but your heart's not aligned with your head. So you think too much And you don't start doing. Like I say, a journey starts with one step. And the further you go, the more you gain confidence in yourself and your own abilities. But you have to start somewhere. And then as far as unconvinced stakeholders is concerned, that's when you think you don't have social support to help you to achieve your goal. And that's actually not true. But you need to ask yourself, are you mixing with the right crowd for achieving your goals? Are you using your network properly or at all? I have found that there is support out there if you reach out. You have to take that first step. And then when it comes to poor measurement, that's when you don't track your progress. So you start out, but you haven't said to yourself, this is what I want to achieve by then, and then actually measure that. A set of goals and a scorecard helps us to take ownership of our goals. And it becomes very motivating when we start seeing and tracking our progress. So maybe if we become deliberately conscious of the reasons why we might fail on executing our goals, we can proactively manage them and do much better. I've seen it work in business, and I've seen it work for my own goals. So maybe you should see if it can work for you. Thanks very much. See you next time.